we're back here giving you more business updates. Smart means business. Many thanks for sticking around, and for those who are joining us, good morning once more. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko here. But as we're heading into the Smb Insight, it's time for you to kickstart off your investment journey or add on to your investment with Zabu. Zabu, an app with Altex East Africa, says my money, my future. Use the USSD code *292#, open up an account, kickstart of your investment journey, and definitely see how best you will be able to achieve more from your little money, or with just a minimum of 15,000 Ugandan shillings. You will definitely be getting more from Zabu. 15,000 shillings or more, you will kickstart of your investment journey. The markets open at 8:15 a.m. and close at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. Zabu says my money, my future. And it is powered by Altex East Africa. The markets are only closed on public holidays and during the weekends. So like I said earlier, our Smb Insight will be basically taking us to the performance of Uganda's economy in 2022. And this is coming in from the Permanent Secretary to the Treasury, Mr. Ramadhan Gobi, who is taking us through how the economy fared in 2022 and what sectors to look out for come this new year.
2022 has been a year of mixed fortunes. It's a year where we've paid a very high price as a country for events which are beyond our control, events which have come from elsewhere. Number one, the COVID-19 has continued to linger around and affected our performance. Then number two, we've had the Russia-Ukraine conflict also coming into the play. Then number three, we have had also the international levels of inflation, the global inflation levels rising, and pass through to affect us as in the form of imported inflation. We have also had the Ebola epidemic coming into the play, not forgetting the drought and floods, a combination of both drought and floods affecting the country. We've also had lower global demand for our commodities, which affected the rate at which our exports would have grown. Also challenges we've had this year and which we are addressing. The first one and the major one has been the poor budget planning by different ministries, departments, agencies, and local governments. And they have manifested in the form of, for example, delayed and sometimes outright non-payment of salaries, pension, and gratuity for some public servants. This is a matter of poor planning, because as a Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, we work with our colleagues in the public service and we budget and release as a first call on the budget the wages, the pension, as well as gratuity of all public servants. So we don't expect anyone to fail to pay these statutory obligations. They have a first call on the budget. So going forward, we are going first of all to carry out an audit on this payroll. Why are some public servants perennially not paid on time? This, we are going to address it for once and for all. The other issue we are addressing is the issue of the low tax effort. We want to mobilize more revenue to finance our budget. At the moment, our tax effort is low. Empirical evidence is showing us that we are having a tax effort index of 0.7 when our peers are having a tax effort index of 1.1, which means that we are taxing below, we are collecting revenue below our potential. And this, we have identified the reasons. Number one is tax avoidance and tax evasion, outright tax evasion. But also we have the issue of the structure of the economy, the informality of our businesses, making them very difficult to identify for tax obligations. We have also seen the issue of corruption amongst our tax collectors and the other institutions collecting non-tax revenue. And then also the issue of the tax exemptions. We have put a plan in place and spares. That's why this coming year, again, we are not introducing new taxes, and also we are not raising the tax rates. We shall just enforce compliance and also expand the tax base such that every Ugandan pays something little, but at the end of the day, we mobilize more revenue to finance our development. So all of those events have come in to affect our performance, but despite all of that, we've been able to maintain the momentum for growth. The economy has continued to expand, but at a rate which is lower than what we had projected. That's why we've downgraded our growth from 6% to 5.3% this financial year. We expect that by the end of the financial year, in June 2023, Ugandan economy would have expanded by 5.3%. And this also has affected people at micro level. In terms of cost of living, the cost of living has increased, as well as the lower levels of incomes of people. They earned less than what they had expected. On the other hand, however, we've also had some achievements in this year, 2022. Number one, we started the year by announcing the final investment decision for our oil and gas, particularly for the HICOP, the East African oil pipeline. That pipeline is underway, and as Uganda, we've fully provided for the equity of our company, UNOC, to participate in this oil pipeline. We gave them at a tune of over $308 million to contribute their equity. And our oil projects are advancing very well in the Albertine. We have also managed to negotiate with our neighbors, especially Kenya, to remove the tariff and non-tariff barriers which were affecting our exports. That's why our exports have grown this year despite the challenges. We have seen more exports going to our East African community, South Sudan, DR Congo, and Kenya in particular. We have also been able to roll out our transformative program of the parish development model, which has been adopted by government to integrate all Ugandans who are outside the money economy to also participate in the economy. We have put aside a total of 1.1 trillion shillings to disburse throughout the year, the financial year, to the parishes, all parishes in Uganda. They are going to receive their 100 million shillings. This 1.1 trillion shillings was realized from our budget without borrowing a penny out of it. We have also been able to enhance the scientists and our military officers serving us in the UPDF from our internally generated money again, without borrowing a penny. We have enhanced them, and they are happy people, I'm sure. We have been able also to demonstrate this year, 2022, the power of economics over and above common sense. As you remember, the year began with a huge debate in Uganda when fuel prices increased. And many people were asking us to practice common sense instead of economics. They wanted us to give subsidies or to cut taxes and so on and so forth. We said, no, economics will be the one we are going to use. So I promised Ugandans and my leaders, right from His Excellency the President, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, and other leaders, that the prices we are going to reduce back to the market clearing equilibrium without distortion. And we are ending the year with this fact that the prices of fuel have actually started to go down, and they are going to go down to the levels where all Ugandans want them to be. We have also seen Uganda this year, 2022, get ranked as the first country in East Africa. We are now in the first position and fifth in Africa in the Financial Market Development Index. This means what? That Uganda's financial market has deepened at a faster rate than any other country within the ESC, and also among the top 5 in Africa. This shows a strong regulation of the financial sector by our central bank, and also it shows that we are actually, as a country, are getting there in deepening our financial sector. These are some of the things which will attract more investors to this economy. As well, the year has seen rapid expansion of our industrial activity. 2022 has been a year of import substitution. We have seen our industrial parks attract more investments. We have also, as government, been able to invest more in infrastructure development in industrial parks. When you talk of Namamve Industrial Park, in Kapeka, in Mbale, in Lugazi, there is Park. Government has provided funds to build infrastructure, roads, electricity substations, as well as drainage, managing drainage. So all of these have been good achievements, in my view, throughout the year. Therefore, although we've had difficulties in the year, I am really very happy that 2022 is ending with the inflation also capping. We are having inflation now at about 10.2% for December. It was 10.6 November. It was 10.7 in October, which shows you that now the curve is taking a downward trend, and we are likely to see inflation getting back to the target rate. And this is coming at a time when we are ending a very difficult year. So those are good news. 2023, to me, I know that a number of people whom I don't want to call pessimists, they may think that it's going to be a difficult year because we are coming from a difficult
That is what the BSST had to say in regards to how Uganda's economy was performing in 2022 and what they're looking forward to focusing on come 2023, this new year. Of course, as the IMF did warn that the global economy will be heading into recession, you never know how the country will be dealing with it. But of course, we are still optimistic that we shall be walking past it. Now, we will be previewing our reports tonight for Business Today's perspective, and we do have Ronan Ahawe joining us this morning to as well bring us to speed with what she's working on and what you should be expecting in tonight's bulletin. Good morning, Rona, and Happy New Year.
Good morning and Happy New Year too.
Okay, so as we look through the year, there was a projection regarding the fact that the Deputy Governor of the Bank of Uganda did mention that Uganda should actually tighten up because inflation is likely to shoot till 2024. Now, in regards to what you're working on tonight, what should we be expecting? What are you looking at?
So, in my story tonight, we'll be looking at food prices.
Okay.
We have seen how they have affected greatly. People say it's macroeconomic conditions. That's why our matoke, our gina, soybeans have been high rocketing. The prices have been high rocketing.
Okay.
But also there are lots of issues attached to it. There is an issue of GMOs,
Okay.
the genetically modified organisms that will be the new seeds that are now yet to be used by farmers, but they are not good. So the farmers say they still say that they should stick to indigenous, seeds.
Yeah.
So high food prices, and I'm hoping to have a conversation with an expert in that area who's
Okay.
going to be talking to me about what we should expect in regards to this year. Since last year we've had a lot of issues in regards to high food prices and hunger in Karamoja. So how sustainable, or are we going to also be hearing cases of shortage of food in this year? What
Okay.
should we hope for in that area?
Of course, one of the key warnings as well for the viewers out there to understand, Rona, breaking it down for you with the fact that food prices being an issue, President Museveni has always come out to reveal that it should be better for us to have food security in the country. So the security, we have to secure that food basket.
Yes.
But then ideally, how many people can afford these meals? Because we are having a challenge that very few households can even afford 3 meals a day. So it takes us back to the price of the commodities, especially the essentials like food at the end of it all. But what are your key expectations of 2023? Now we are into a new year. It's the first fresh week. We're looking at Uganda's economic space. And of course, we're optimistic, though there are lots of warnings about how the year may perform or how we may go through the year with these particular cases of inflation and, of course, the rising prices. So if you're to look at it, a simple projection for the viewers.
Okay, so World Bank projected that the economy might grow by 2.4%.
Okay.
And by that could only be achieved by, utilizing the markets, COMESA, EAC, and the African Free Trade Zone area. But in regards to trading and economics, really, we should expect a lot more from the private sector, empowerment of the SMEs, because they are the ones that contribute greatly to the economy. So if the government funds the SMEs and they are able to stand on their own, and the private sector is even bigger than the public sector, then we should expect a more sustainable and resilient economy, with inflation, of course, controlled by the Bank of Uganda.
Oh, okay. And of course, Rona Ahawe will be giving you more details regarding that same space of the food prices within the economy, and of course, how the experts believe it should be handled. Or you as a consumer, how will you be able to afford these food prices? What can you live with or without in this new year of 2023? It does look like a year where we need to be tightening up, because it does not look like a roller coaster ride for many. But of course, we shall be going through it all. And Ronan Ahawe will be giving you all and more of the detailed conversations in tonight's bulletin, Business Today. With that, we do take a break. I'll be right back with Barija Andrew with the on-ground discussions.